Good afternoon, everybody. On this Thursday, October 23rd, 2025, I got all of your stories for your rush hour ride home. And on today's episode, we've got Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson, amongst other podcasters, nominated for a Golden Globe. That's right. The Golden Globes Award now has a podcast division, as podcasting has taken over for mainstream media. I was not nominated, although if you hit the like button and subscribe, maybe we'll get there slowly. But very interesting. It's not going to come without a cost. I'm going to explain why podcasters are being asked to pay to help promote them being in this category. We'll get into all of that. Plus, on the second half of this episode, I'll be discussing the H3 podcast and their lawsuit, as they are now suing a subreddit that I guess is a snark subreddit, which is like a hater subreddit, that is a community that has I guess been tormenting them. I'll break down the specifics of what's going on, and also a little bit on the construction of the ballroom at the White House, the one that nobody asked for, and we won't be invited to. You enjoy the Lindy Hop? Well, you're not going to be doing it there, not without a pretty penny. And also, we'll be talking about narco-terrorism, as the U.S. government has destroyed another boat without due process. All these stories and more starts right now on The Rush. Well, you guys know this about me. I love podcasting. I love the whole world of creating content. And how about this? Right-wing podcast stars, including Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens, in line for Golden Globes Award. Now, the title is a little misleading, as there's also left-wing podcasters. It's really a whole bunch, but there's Megyn Kelly, Ben Shapiro, and Theo Vaughn among nominees for inaugural Best Podcast Going. They also announced there's the Joe Rogan Experience, Good Hang with Amy Poehler, who the hell listens to that, and Call Me Daddy with Alex Cooper. And what's interesting, 25 nominees, that's a lot, but it comes with a little bit of a price. According to Status, the company behind the ceremony, Penske Media Corporation, has sent out a pitch deck to at least some of the shows eligible for the awards, explaining that they are selling marketing packages costing upwards of $75,000 that allow podcasters to promote their programs directly to Globes voters, who will determine the winner. So if this sounds like a scam, it's not really a scam. It's actually, so the question of why it would cost $75,000 while you're also being nominated, you don't have to pay for it, but do you want to win the award or not? And it costs money to market yourself to the people that will be voting. I've been a member of the Screen Actors Guild for probably going on 20 years now, and how it works with SAG is that there's a nominating committee, and when you're on the nominating committee, films and TV shows that are, in that jurisdiction that would be considered SAG projects would send you screeners. Now, back in the day, it was DVDs. Now it's like digital links, but it comes with a folder of the marketing, what's the show's about, the bio, and whatever information they think might be interested to the voters. Is it a way of luring the voter into voting for your project? Absolutely. That's just how it works. The Weinstein Company, TWC, which of course, was making Oscar bait, as they call it, was always known to send out the best marketing. They would literally send you these beautiful things to get your attention to watch their projects to then vote on it. So it's kind of like how running for office costs a lot of money. The little art house movies generally don't stand a chance when up against those with a bigger budget. So if you're a podcast that wants to get people's attention, maybe you pay the $75,000. I can't imagine many podcasters will want to do that, although it is a business write-off, and you would be getting your promotion into new, into people's hands. But I would say that with, how many did they say are going, 25 nominees? I mean, it's not like there's five. If there's 5 nominees, maybe you pay the $75,000, but 25 is a lot. And also, who the hell is trying to compare? This is what I hate about award shows. How are we trying to compare Theo Vaughn to Ben Shapiro? I mean, they're completely different types of podcasts, to Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? They're all over the map. So again, I understand why these award ceremonies feel the need to cater to podcasts because they come with their own loyal audience, and it might be new eyeballs on their show. But at the same time, it feels a little desperate to me from standard media. I mean, who cares if these voters think that you've got the best podcast? Although I'm sure if you win a Golden Globe, it would very much be lucrative for your podcast with regards to the types of ads you could sell the next year. My podcast, not a Golden Globe winner. I'll tell you that right now. We're not paying $75,000 to promote it, but you are more than welcome for free to share us with your friends. Well, we'll be covering who actually wins this, and you'll know whoever does win it probably paid the $75,000. And I'll see if I can get a hold of any of the pitch decks that they're talking about. All right, let's move it on from there. The government is in a shutdown. Government employees have gone several pay periods without receiving their pay. Here's what Mike Johnson has to say about day 22 of the shutdown.
Welcome to day 22 of the Democrat shutdown. While it's already been, as we noted yesterday, the longest full government shutdown in history, October 22nd marks another landmark. This is now the second longest government shutdown of any kind ever in the history of our country, and it's just shameful. Democrats keep making history, but they're doing it for all the wrong reasons. The contrast is the split screen, and I've referenced that at this podium a few times already, but I just think it's an important thing to point out, because that contrast between the two parties grows more glaring with each passing day.
So, of course, he's trying to sell this as a Democrat problem. The Democrats are keeping the government shut down, but why are they doing that? The Republicans have all but abandoned the talking point that Democrats are fighting for illegals to get free health care. Have you realized that? That talking point's completely gone. Well, how about this? An Oregon retiree received their health insurance cost, and this is the moment they found out it has gone up 400%. This is what Democrats are fighting to prevent.
Our current premium is $443 a month.
Through the ACA.
Through the ACA, and which is manageable for us, both retirees. However, it's going up to $2,224 a month.
By the way, the fact that $400 a month is considered manageable is so ridiculous. Tax the ultra wealthy, figure it out. Our country has the money to do universal health care, but it just goes to show this is what the big beautiful bill is stripping away. It is stripping away for 20 plus million people affordable health care. Do you really think most people are going to spend $2,200 a month? They're estimating 50 to 60,000 people a year will die from preventative illness because they won't have health care. This is a big deal, and this is what they don't want you to be talking about. So if they want to call it the Democrat shutdown, by all means, the Democrats have shut the government down because the Republicans will not negotiate about getting those subsidies back to save lives, period. That's what it comes down to. Speaking of saving lives, how about some due process? Here is, I guess, another boat has been blown out of the water that's, I guess, supposed to be a drug trade boat, although because they're not doing any due process, there's really no way to vet this. Have a listen.
Respond to that if you want.
Yeah, well, I mean, the question is, bottom line, these are drug boats. If people want to stop seeing drug boats blow up, stop sending drugs to the United States.
So Marco Rubio calls these Venezuelan boats drug boats. Says you want them to stop blowing up, stop sending them. And we're supposed to take this smug prick's word for it? No, thank you. This is what the judicial system is for. My thought would be, if it were a drug smuggling boat, wouldn't you want to follow it to its distributors, find out who the kingpin is, do a big drug bust once it gets to American waters, and you can take a photo with all of the cocaine you've, commandeered, or you could give that cocaine to Don Jr. Do whatever the hell you want with it. I don't care. I think it all should be legal, to be quite honest. But either way, they claim these are drug boats, and yet they just keep blowing them up without asking questions. It's going to get us into a war. Colombia is not playing around. Venezuela is mobilizing troops, and I think they're tired of us killing and by the way, it's not the death penalty if they are drug traffickers, but we have no evidence that that is the case, period. And I hear from people and they say, yeah, Dave, but so many people die every year of fentanyl. Fentanyl does not come from Venezuela, literally at all. So what are they trafficking on these boats? A little booger sugar? A little party stuff, the fun powder, what is it, right? And I would prefer if they actually did due process, because if they consider people who travel with cocaine narco-terrorists that can be blown out of the water, and they also think people who are attending a lot of these pro-democracy rallies are terrorists, can they just blow them out of the water too? That's kind of what it all comes down to. You don't just get to call somebody a terrorist and then blow them out of the water. It doesn't work that way. Have a listen.
Think that's okay? Can you put two and two together about what's going on here? Trump is saying, I can define who's a terrorist, and that means I can kill him. At the same time, we're seeing executive orders defining whole parts of the Democratic Party as domestic terrorists.
Thank you.
Right? We're seeing NSPM 7, which says any anti-American or anti-capitalist or anti-Christian speech is extremist speech. We have a task force of 4,000 agents who are being taken off of drug trafficking and human trafficking and the actual crime and being put on prosecuting those people who are saying...
I mean, if they're going to prosecute people that are anti-capitalist, does that mean they prosecute people who want universal health care? You know, simple things like that. Socially democratic programs. You think, wow, you're taking a leap here. Well, I mean, they're blowing ships out of the water. There is a war being set up in the Caribbean Sea. There hasn't been a war in the Caribbean Sea since Johnny Depp starred in Pirates of the Caribbean. So they're escalating very quickly.
Anti-capitalist things. Do you think that's okay? Can you put two and two together about what's going on here? Do you think
I have put two and two together, and I am also alarmed. Well, here's Jen Psaki. She actually went viral. She's on the I've Had It podcast, which, by the way, the I've Had It speaking of podcasts, give these ladies Golden Globes. The I've Had It podcast has gone from obscurity to one of the top downloaded podcasts in the world. These ladies, just a couple, what do they call them? Some mimosa moms from Oklahoma, absolutely tearing into politicians. Quick-witted, speaking populist messaging from the people. And here's Jen Psaki. She got in trouble, but have a listen.
4 times.
Yes.
Well, the little Manchurian candidate, J.D. Vance, wants to be president more than anything else.
Yeah.
I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like, Are you okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come over here. We'll save you. And that he's willing to do anything to get there. And that your whole iteration you just outlined, I mean, he's scarier in certain ways.
He's smarter
in some ways, and he's young. But I don't know that he can take the whole movement with him.
No way.
I don't think so either.
There's no res.
Yeah, so there it is, the conversation around J.D. Vance, and they're right, he has no riz. J.D. Vance is a weirdo, and of course his campaign was funded by Peter Thiel after he worked at Peter Thiel's venture capitalist firm, I believe, so that's why they called him a Manchurian candidate. But again, does anybody want J.D. Vance? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's gonna win over a portion of MAGA, but there's a lot of people that have been part of the cult personality of Trump that are probably going to be done voting when Trump's gone. But anyhow, very interesting stuff. And coming up next, this is going to be pretty inside baseball. But actually, you know what I didn't do is I didn't cover the ballroom. We had a ballroom update. So let's just go to this before we take a quick break. Here was Trump talking about the ballroom construction. You might remember just a few short months ago, he said it won't interfere with the current building. Just so you know, spoiler alert, the East Wing is completely destroyed. Have a listen.
Building, it'll be near it, but not touching it, and pays total respect to the existing building, which I'm the biggest fan of. It's my favorite place. I love it. It won't interfere.
So there it is. It won't interfere with the East Wing, and they won't be touching. Well, that's because the East Wing is now in the dumpster. The White House under renovation, folks. Construction, it is. Pardon the dust. Okay, coming up next, I've got the Ethan Klein H3 lawsuit. If you don't know what it's all about, I'm going to fill you guys in. Stick around. That coming next.